first of all, I'm not on trial here. Deion Sanders is the person we're reacting to. And Stephen A., when you go to your alma mater on Friday, you might want to take your degree back, because I don't know where I've always had great respect for you as a journalist, and I still do, but you're going to some unbelievable lengths, breaking your back, trying to make a case for Deion Sanders.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Finebaum and Stephen A. Smith got into a heated exchange on First Take about Deion Sanders and his comments on journalists being jealous of college players making all this money with the NIL. But before we get into it, we got to run the intro.
I went in the locker room trying to show him love. He dissed me. He threw shade at me. I'm like, what the fuck I do?
You ready, B?
You feel me? Like, if you played, he played half the clip. His little minions over here trashing me and shit. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Me,
I'm trying
young
to
B, cruising down the west side.
Nigga, who the fuck are you? Like, who are you?
The 03 Bonnie and Clyde.
He's talking about you right now. The locker room. He said all the players are trash.
So I came across a segment on First Take, and it was actually pretty interesting because they were talking about Deion Sanders. Now, I want to play you guys what Deion Sanders had to say, and then I'm going to play you guys what Paul Finebaum and Stephen A. Smith had to say in response to Deion Sanders, and then we're going to come back and give you guys our thoughts.
Now they're making more money than y'all, and some of y'all are envious and jealous about that. So you're on the tech. It was hands off for college player because he's an amateur. Remember that, guys? Now it's hands on. Go at them any kind of way you want. They're making more money than me, and I'm mad about it. I'm upset about it. And when you attack them, these guys are sensitive. They've never been attacked. Most of them are out of high school or 2 years or 3 years in college, but they're still sensitive to slander. They hadn't gone through what I've been going through with y'all for years. They haven't done that. So it is what it is. I know you're going to do your job and what you must do, but your job does not say attack. Like, if they didn't play well, leave it at that. But the personal stuff, leave it to be personal, because if we start flipping the script on y'all, you wouldn't like it. I can easy. Thank you, Lord, for stopping me there. Ooh, that was almost a good one. That would have went viral.
Deion right there was purely gaslighting, and it's really unbecoming of somebody of his stature and status. He knows that's not true. The people that cover college football have been arguing vociferously for years to get more autonomy for players so they can make more money, so they can't be treated the same way that they always have. And for him to say that is just really specious. It's baseless. And quite frankly, it looks to me like he is living in an alternative universe, because that is simply not true. And to use the word slander, I mean, that is so far beyond the pale, because most people, the majority of the media, lifts these players up. They don't tear them down. Quite frankly, the only player on his team that has even come under scrutiny is his son, Deion Sanders. And right here on this program 24 hours ago, the entire panel, Stephen A., myself, and Shannon, defended him for not shaking hands with a player who was trash-talking him. So I frankly don't have any earthly idea where he came up with it. I think it's desperation, and it's entirely spineless of him to attack the media, who has not even attacked his players.
You're telling me media guys are killing a player? Where? I haven't read it. I read the papers right here, for crying out loud. I read the New York Times. I read the Post. I watch you guys every Monday and Tuesday when you don't have me on. I sit there and do a talk show. Nobody's killing these college players. I don't know what Deion's talking about. Nobody's killing them whatsoever. What, the one writer in the Denver Post who he kicked out of practice because he was mad at him? Is that the guy that he's referring to? That's not enough. Where? Where is it? Finebaum doesn't say anything.
The only peg that I can think of is exactly what you just mentioned, the Deion Sanders not shaking the.
Well, that's what brought this on, right, Paulie? I mean, the fact that Sanders didn't shake the kid's hand, he must have gotten some criticism, and Deion didn't like it. That's where this comes from. But again, it's one guy. As a whole, this has not been happening. Finebaum, Stevie, myself, I'm not killing a college athlete, but if you do get criticized if you're a college athlete and you're making $3 or $4 million, that's the way it goes. I don't care if you're 15. When you're making that kind of money, you are no longer, quote unquote, an amateur. You have to accept that.
Doggie's right. They are professionals, and they can be entitled to criticism, but that's not really the issue here. They're not getting criticized. The guy at the Denver Post, Sean Keeler, went after Deion. He never went after a player. And unless Deion Sanders or you, Stephen A. Smith, can come up and tell me what player specifically he has gone after, I'm going to continue on with what I'm saying. I am really shocked by you trying to split the baby here, Stephen. I mean, you know better. Deion Sanders is completely wrong here. There's no justification for him castigating the entire media for nothing, for something that never happened. And if he can state it, go ahead and state it. But don't sound like one of these politicians coming in here and blaming it all on the media. That doesn't work in college football.
Well, first of all,
college football media, if anything, is too subservient to the people that coach like Deion Sanders. Just like you are right now trying to.
Don't give me that nonsense about me being subservient, Paul Finebaum. You stop that right now.
Well, no,
what did you just quoting the man. Here? Hold on. I'm quoting the man. I didn't know what happened until I heard his quote. And when he said in his quote, some of y'all, I'm like, okay, I don't know who those folks are. I don't know. Excuse me. I think he believes it. And that's what I'm saying. So my point is, if he's coming at it and he said, listen, I'm not reading the Denver Post every day. I'm not watching the reports for every beat writer covering the Colorado Buffaloes, okay? I got other things to do with my time. If I'm quoting the man and the man said some, all right, then I'm assuming, okay, well, there might be a couple of people that might criticize players. So what? If he said all of yous, that would be different. That's not what he said. And that's all I'm saying. You can't knock me for quoting the man and accuse me of being subservient because I'm taking him based off of what he actually said and I'm deducing what it means from the words coming out of his mouth. You do that every day.
Yeah, well, I'm the one who said he was gaslighting, and you said I'm not gaslighting, and I don't know what you're basing it on other than giving your friend, Coach Prime, the benefit of the doubt. Well, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt anymore.
All right, you choose not to give him the benefit of the doubt. I choose to give him the benefit of the doubt because I'm quoting him. I'm quoting him. Now, you can deduce from his quotes that you don't believe a damn word he's saying, and that's your right.
Well, that's
but
exactly
in the end, if you're covering the Colorado Buffaloes, just like you're the same Paul Finebaum that's come over the airwaves last year and this year. You were talking about how people were rooting for him to fail. So if they were rooting for him to fail, which is something that you conceded last year, right? Chances are that the level of venom, vitriol, criticism that's coming in his direction only intensified, right? So if he decides that there's some people out there that literally want me to fail and are willing to go after my kids in order to do it, can we summarily dismiss the notion that there are people out there that he believes are extra critical of his program and the players playing on this program? We can't do that, Paul. We can't do that.
Listen, first of all, I'm not on trial here. Deion Sanders is the person we're reacting to. And Stephen, when you go to your alma mater on Friday, you might want to take your degree back because I don't know where I've always had great respect for you as a journalist, and I still do, but you're going to some unbelievable lengths, breaking your back, trying to make a case for Deion Sanders, who just threw that out there without a single specific. And Doggy, you know what I'm talking about here. And he knew that there would be people that would give him the benefit of the doubt, but he does not deserve the benefit of the doubt here.
So you guys just heard what Paul Finebaum had to say to Stephen A. Smith. Told the dude, listen, you need to give your degree back because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Now, here are my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. I think Deion Sanders is being, I don't know. I think he's overstating this jealousy that he speaks of a little bit because this is something that I've never even thought about, right? I never, had the thoughts that, journalists are hating on, college players now because of the NIL. I just never thought of that. I think most people are happy that these guys are finally starting to make money. It's been years and years and years that these guys have, not been getting any money at all. And yeah, I think most people are happy for these guys that they're actually starting to get paid. So I don't really know where Deion Sanders got that angle from. So in that aspect, I kind of do got to side with Paul Finebaum in all honesty. I don't really see too many people being jealous of, Shedeur, Travis Hunter, or any of these guys on Colorado because they're making, millions of dollars through NIL. I don't really see that. I don't hear that. So in that point, I would have to side with Paul Finebaum. Now, when it comes to Stephen A. Smith, and he's talking about, how people are being critical of Deion Sanders. I mean, that's going to come with the territory, right? When, Deion Sanders beat TCU in game 1 last year and he got up on the, post-game press conference and he was asking reporters, do you believe now? I mean, you can best believe that, once you lose, right, they're going to come for you at that point, right? I mean, you got guys like Shedeur Sanders, after, every game, before every game, he's holding up his wrists. He's showing off. He's showboating, right? So that's going to come with some level of criticism when you start to lose. I mean, I don't think that that's unfair, right? If you're going to boast and brag and, stun on people, I don't think you should be, surprised that, when you lose, people are going to come for you. And that's exactly what they did last year. They started off 3-0, beat TCU, Colorado State, and I believe Nebraska, and then they kind of just, fell off from there. Ended up winning 4 games last season. So obviously people were going to talk shit. This year, they lose, I believe, their second game to Nebraska. And yeah, people are going to talk shit. I mean, that's just is what it is. It comes with the territory, especially when you're, as braggadocious as, Deion Sanders and these kids are these days, So, yeah, I think, criticism comes with the territory. You can't necessarily cry about it. Now, where I would have a problem with it is if I felt like it was excessive. And I don't feel like it's been excessive, if I'm being honest with you guys. I really don't. So I think Deion Sanders is honestly overstating this just a little bit. So I would tend to kind of have to side with Paul in this segment. I don't really understand where Deion Sanders kind of got, this from. But like I said, that's really all I got, man. I thought this was an interesting topic. You guys come into the comment section and let me know your thoughts. And yeah, man, I will catch you guys on the next one. This was another installment of The Locker Room. Peace.